Hello, this is Victoria, and today we are going to talk about whitelists. Specifically, we are going to go over what a whitelist is, what it might be used for, and then I'm going to show you how to create your own whitelist on Solana and distribute it for your NFT collection. So let's begin. What is a whitelist and what is it used for? In the Web3 space, whitelists are used to give people special access to a project. And this access might come in many different forms. But the most common ones I've seen is it usually lets people access a project early, or access a project at a discounted price, or sometimes a project completely restricts access to whitelisted members only. Let's talk about who projects give whitelists to. I mean, it really depends on the project. Some projects like to give whitelists out to people they know or their tight-knit community. But other projects, and this is what I've most commonly seen, like to give whitelists out to the earliest adopters. And they also use it as a strategy to get people to jump into their project quickly just as it starts, because people want that special benefit. You might be thinking, what actually is a whitelist? Well, on Solana, a whitelist is a token, but a fungible token, which means all of the tokens are the same. They are interchangeable, unlike an NFT where each token is unique. In this tutorial, we are going to go over how to add a whitelist to your NFT collection. Specifically, how to add a whitelist to your NFT minting dApp built with Metaplex's Candy Machine. As I just mentioned, a whitelist on Solana is a token, which means the first thing we need to do is create a token on Solana. In order to do this, we are going to use the Solana CLI tool. This is a really helpful tool that allows us to interact with the Solana blockchain directly from our terminal. You can see installation instructions on the Solana main documentation page and the installation command. For the sake of time, I already installed the Solana CLI tool and created a file system wallet, so I'm not going to do it in this tutorial, but I did go over both steps in my previous tutorial if you need any help. But in this tutorial, let's get straight to creating a token on Solana. So once we have the Solana CLI tool installed, we can run the SPL token command. And the first command we're going to run is SPL token create token. Now this creates our Solana whitelist token. What this command really does under the hood is it initializes a new mint account. And that mint account contains basic information about the token, like permissions, the mint authority, the total supply of the token, and the decimals. Decimals set the smallest denomination of a token. So we use decimal 0 when creating a token if there should only be one of that token. Now the information that you see printed is the name of our token that was actually created. This is what starts with Pt.1. Let's make sure we save that because we'll be needing it a lot in the future. And then we can also see the transaction printed below. And let's have a look at that transaction in SolScan and see what really happened when we ran this command. If I go to SolScan, I can see the transaction and I can see my wallet was used to sign and create it. And I can see the mint account that was created. The owner program of the mint account is the token program, Solana's token program. And I can see the authority of that mint account is my wallet, the file system wallet I used to run the command. You will notice that the max total supply is 0 because we have not created any token yet. Just to clarify, that create token command creates a mint account with information about the token. We have not actually minted any of the token, so the total supply should be 0. Now the next thing we want to do is actually mint some of this token. And to do this, we can run the SPL token mint command and mint 1. Oh no, the command failed. Let's talk about why. When we ran create token, as I mentioned, we created a mint account that defines the token. But in order to actually hold any amount of the token, the person holding it needs to have an associated token account. That's just the way Solana's tokens work. And so me as the person minting, and that's my file system wallet that is minting, does not have an associated token account right now. So I can't hold that token. I can run SPL token create account and then specify the token that I am creating this associated token account for. Wonderful. Once I run this command, I can see the associated token account that was created, and I can see the transaction. Now that I have this account, I will be able to mint, and the command should work. This time I'm going to mint 5 so that the total supply of this whitelist token should be 5. Awesome. We can see that the token worked, and we can see that the supply when we run the command is now 5. Let's actually look at the transaction of the associated token account, because this is quite interesting. We have to pay a bit of gas when we create a token associated account, because that account takes up a bit of space and we need to pay rent in order to fund that space. If we go over to our wallet's account and take a quick look at that, we should now be able to see our SPL token balance, and under that we can see our whitelist token that starts with BM29, and the supply is now 5, which means our wallet owns 5 whitelist tokens. At this stage, we've already created a whitelist token and created 5 of them. That wasn't so bad, right? But we still have not distributed our token. The only person who owns that token right now is the person who created the token and minted them, which is my wallet. Now that we've created our token, let's go over how to associate that token and use it as a whitelist for our NFT project. In my previous video, I went over how to create and verify an NFT collection on Solana. In this tutorial, we went over how to create a collection using Metaplex's candy machine. And so I'm not going to go over that in this tutorial, but let's take a look at the candy machine that we created in that tutorial. I can see that there are 3 NFTs remaining, and each of them are being sold at a price of 0.01 Sol. And I can see the NFTs that I minted, also minted in that tutorial. Here are my Caviar Cavalier Club NFTs, and I currently have 2 of them. I want the remaining 3 NFTs to be gated behind some sort of whitelist. And so let's apply that whitelist to our candy machine. The first thing we're going to do is head over to Metaplex's candy machine documentation and look at their whitelist settings. Candy machine allows us to configure our whitelist quite a bit, and it has a bunch of settings. The first thing that we can set is the mode, whether or not the whitelist is burnt every time. When the whitelist settings are set to burned every time, it means that a whitelist can only be used to mint an NFT once. Once that whitelist is spent, it is burned and it is out of the supply. The mint field actually specifies the name of our whitelist token, and so this will be that string that we saved earlier. Presale specifies that whitelist token holders get access to the NFT mint before others. And finally, discount price specifies whether whitelist holders get some special discount to the mint. And you can kind of mix and match these settings however you choose. Metaplex's documentation is pretty good, so it will tell you how to vary these settings based on your use case. Once we decide which whitelist settings we want, we can copy that over and paste it in our candy machine configuration. For my NFT collection, I want the whitelist to burn every time. I only want someone to be able to mint 1 NFT for a whitelist token they have, so I'm going to set that equal to true. I also want my whitelist holders to be able to access my mint before anyone else. And finally, I also want to give them a special discount, so I'm going to use this configuration setting. I can copy over the setting I want and go to my candy machine configuration and paste it under whitelist mint settings. Now I'm going to slightly change the fields a bit. I'm actually going to be super generous and allow my whitelist holders to mint for free. So I'm going to make the discount price 0. Another thing I will make sure to do is update the date, because I want my whitelist holders to get special access to the project before anyone else. I'll set the go live date to a date in the future. And then, remember I told you to save our whitelist token from before. Let's paste it here. So this notifies the Candy Machine and tells them which whitelist we're using and which token gives special access to the Candy Machine. In the last tutorial, we already deployed our Candy Machine, so it's okay. We can always make edits to our Candy Machine, but what we will need to do is run the update Candy Machine command. And this can be found in Metaplex's documentation under Update the Candy Machine. I'm going to use the Candy Machine CLI tool, run Update Candy Machine, and during this, I'll also specify the fields, -E for the devnet, as that's what we're using in this tutorial, -K for the wallet that I am using, and -CP for the config file. Great, now I can see that my Candy Machine was successfully updated. What this command really did was call the Candy Machine program and update the data in our Candy Machine instance. There is a way for me to verify that this worked by calling Candy Machine's show command, which prints information that it reads from on-chain. So I can now verify that my whitelist settings were set accordingly. Wonderful. So now if I go back to my Candy Machine UI, I can now see that it has been updated and the go live date is a date in the future, which means the public mint is closed and only whitelist token holders can mint because I specified pre-sale equal to true. I'm going to select my other wallet, which is not the wallet I created the whitelist token with. And you can see that the whitelist mint button is grayed out because that wallet does not own any whitelist. In order for that wallet to be able to mint, it needs to hold at least one of my whitelist tokens. So the next step is we are going to transfer a whitelist token over from the token creator to that wallet on my browser. To do this, we can run the SPL token transfer command. We specify the whitelist token we're talking about and then the recipient's wallet address. You will notice that I put fund recipient at the end. This is because in order for that browser wallet to hold my whitelist, it needs to have an associated token account, the same type of account I was talking about before. And so fund recipient means we are paying the rent and paying the gas in order to create that account for that browser wallet. When you see the command is run, you can see in brackets the amount of SOL was spent to fund the recipient, and we can see the associated token account address that we created. We can also see the transaction that was created, and we'll be able to look that up on SolScan. Awesome. Now I have transferred one whitelist token to my browser wallet. And if I refresh the Candy Machine UI, I can now see there are still 3 NFTs remaining. Public mint is still not yet available, but I can now see my whitelist settings have taken effect. The discount price is now 0 and the whitelist mint button is no longer grayed out. So I can mint an NFT. Amazing. I would love another Caviar Cavalier NFT. Awesome. Now let's take a look at the transaction on Phantom. We can see that a bit of SOL is being spent. This is gas in order to mint the NFT. And we can also see by minting with our whitelist, we are burning the whitelist. And so you can see that -1 whitelist there. And that's because we set on our Candy Machine whitelist settings, burn every time to true. This all looks good, so I'm going to approve and mint that NFT. Okay, you may notice the second we minted, there are now 2 NFTs remaining and the price has moved back up to 0.01 SOL and the whitelist mint button has grayed out. That is because we've spent our whitelist token and so we cannot mint again. If we go to the Phantom extension, we can now see our new NFT. Amazing. Here is our new Caviar Cavalier Club that was minted using a whitelist token. If I run the SPL token balance and put in my whitelist token, I can now see that the balance has moved from 5 to 4. That's because we burned one. Okay, great. So now you've seen how we can apply a whitelist to our NFT project.